I'm Jim May. We're continuing to look at what individual Indiana public school administrators actually did and did not say when they were secretly recorded without their knowledge and under false pretenses. Today, we're going to cover some of the comments from Dr. Laura Del Vecchio, Assistant Superintendent for the Plainfield Community School Corporation. As you watch this, notice they don't even show 3 consecutive sentences from Dr. Del Vecchio. Instead, they let her respond to their question about an equity department, then edit in part of her response to a question they can't even be bothered to let us hear. Let's go to the clip.
Do y'all have an equity department or anything like that?
So honestly, we had what we decided to do is not call attention to it, because when you call attention to it, then questions are asked, and I really believe that you can do more good under the radar. Right before COVID, we had started some really deep diving into our curriculum, and we and kind of doing that like white privilege walk and making sure just understand, right?
In the online comments about this clip, I saw lots of references to 3 words: white privilege walk. Let's talk about what that phrase means in the context of suburban and rural public schools in the state of Indiana. I haven't done an exhaustive audit of the demographics of every school in our state, but I'm pretty confident that the following statements hold true. A child will never walk into a classroom in a suburban or rural public school in the state of Indiana, look around, and realize they're the only white kid. They won't have classmates coming up to them and saying, "Wow, white people's hair's so straight," and reaching out to feel it uninvited. They won't have a teacher hold them after class to say that whatever product they're using in their hair, its smell is a distraction and they need to wash it out and not use it anymore. A child will never walk into a classroom in a suburban or rural public school in the state of Indiana, look around, and realize they're the only Christian kid. They're not going to have their peers teasing them for following an unfamiliar religion, asking things like, "What, you worship a zombie god who was killed by people and came back to life?" They won't be subjected to a teacher accidentally chuckling when trying to explain to the class that, well, as part of that student's religion, they believe that they actually eat the body of and drink the blood of their God. A child will never walk into a classroom in a suburban or rural public school in the state of Indiana, look around, and realize they're the only Hoosier. They aren't going to have kids saying, "You eat pork tenderloin? Gross. Don't you know pigs roll around in their poop? Does your breath smell like poop?" A child will never walk into a classroom in a suburban or rural public school in the state of Indiana, look around, and realize they're the only straight kid, or the only kid with straight parents. They're not going to overhear kids saying, "He's straight, he must be a real slut." They're not going to have friends come up and saying, "Your parents are straight, so what's it like to be raised by pedophiles?" But if a child has a skin color other than white, if a child adheres to religion other than Christianity, if a child comes from a different cultural background, if a child isn't straight or has non-straight parents, well, the odds are high that those children will experience being the only kid in class who's a member of their subgroup, and some of them may have that experience for years. Imagine a 6-year-old or a 9-year-old or a 14-year-old who's different from the rest of their class in some immediately recognizable way. Imagine how easy it is for those children to be made to feel like outsiders. Now imagine how much of an impact it can have on those children if the people in charge care enough to put in some extra effort, to make them feel seen for who they are, to treat them with dignity, to welcome their unique perspective to the classroom. Now, there are obviously some very vocal people who feel otherwise, but I truly believe that the majority of Hoosiers would say that no child deserves to be intentionally or accidentally ostracized just because of their race, religion, culture, family structure, or whatever else. I commend Dr. Del Vecchio and all the other educators out there who are doing a version of the white privilege walk to make sure that their schools are truly welcoming to all of the students and families they serve. Thanks for watching.